Begin paragraph text. Sexual violence is a broad term that refers to any form of non-consensual sexual behavior, including sexual assault, sexual abuse, sexual harassment, sexual exploitation, sex trafficking, and sexual violence facilitated through technology. Sexual Violence, 2024. This week, you will consider additional definitions of sexual violence and examine the types and theories of sexual violence. You will also compare myths versus truths and review what the Criminal Code of Canada, 1985, says about sexual violence. Learning outcomes. Begin bulleted list with 4 items. Item 1 of 4, 1.1 Define sexual violence and examine the Criminal Code of Canada 150 Part 5, Sexual Offences. Item 2 of 4, 1.2 Identify types of sexual violence. Item 3 of 4, 1.3 Describe different theories of sexual violence. Item 4 of 4, 1.4 Compare myths versus truths. Begin heading Level 2, References. Begin paragraph text, begin link, Criminal Code of Canada www.criminalcode.ca. 1985. Government of Canada. Begin link, Sexual Violence, Men, and Masculinity. An Introduction www.sauce.ca. 2024. Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton, SACE. Begin heading Level 3, Important. Begin paragraph text. Note that the instructors of this course recognize that the subject matter is inherently disturbing. Some readings, images, and/or multimedia components may be triggering and/or traumatizing. That said, this post-secondary course is designed to provide an open space for the critical and civil exchange of ideas. It is expected that all learners will help to create an atmosphere of mutual respect and sensitivity. If you need support, see below for a list of provincial services for victims and survivors, Ontario Network, 2021, and, in some cases, links to those services. Begin bulleted list with 10 items. Item 1 of 10, begin link, sheltersafe.ca. Item 2 of 10, begin link, Assaulted Women's Helpline www.owl.org, 1-866-863-0511, TTY1, 866-863-7868. Item 3 of 10, begin link, Ontario Native Women's Association www.onwa.ca, ONWA. Item 4 of 10, begin link, Ontario Coalition of Rape Crisis Centres www.sexualassaultsupport.ca. Item 5 of 10, Victim Support Line, Ontario Victim Services, 1-888-579-2888. Item 6 of 10, Male Survivors of Sexual Abuse Provincial Crisis and Support Line, Ontario Victim Services, 1-866-887-0015. Item 7 of 10, Seniors Safety Line, 1-866-299-1011. Item 8 of 10, Trans Lifeline, 1-877-330-6366. Item 9 of 10, Canadian Human Trafficking Hotline, 1-833-900-1010. Item 10 of 10, LGBT Youth Line, text, 647-694-4275, call, 1-800-268-9688. Begin paragraph text. If you are in immediate danger, call 911 or your local police immediately. Begin heading Level 2, References. Begin paragraph text. Begin link, other services www.savtreatmentcenters.ca. 2021. Ontario Network of Sexual Assault, Domestic Violence Treatment Centers. Begin paragraph text. Throughout this course, you will encounter the following 5 terms again and again. Use the flip cards to learn their meaning. Begin paragraph text. For more information, select each card to flip it. Begin heading Level 2, Victim. Begin paragraph text. In the context of sexual violence, victim is a legal term used within the criminal justice system. Begin heading Level 2, Survivor. Begin paragraph text. In the context of sexual violence, survivor is used to convey a sense of empowerment, as opposed to victimization following a crime, in the face of adversity. The term survivor is used when the focus is on conveying that an individual has started the healing process and moved away from identifying as a victim. Begin heading Level 2, Offender. Begin paragraph text. Offender is a legal term used in the context of criminal law to refer to a person convicted of committing a crime or offense. Begin heading Level 2, Perpetrator. Begin paragraph text. Perpetrator is the term for an individual who performs an illegal, immoral, or harmful act. Begin heading Level 2, Sexual Assault. Begin paragraph text. In Canada, the term sexual assault instead of rape, the latter of which is used in the United States and other countries, is used to better reflect the range of sexual violent behaviors. You'll learn more about sexual violence terminology in Week 3. Begin heading Level 2, Tooltips. Hover over definitions. Begin paragraph text. Key terminology is generally defined when it appears. Occasionally, however, you will see a new term appear with an underline and an icon beside it like this. Begin paragraph text. Ethics. Begin paragraph text. In the context of this online course, words that appear with this sort of formatting are known as tooltips. Tooltips provides additional information when you hover your cursor over an item of text. It's a helpful way to offer context or explanations without cluttering the main content. Begin heading Level 2, Brief History. Begin paragraph text. Sexual violence has long been a part of human history, including the history of war, which will not be covered in this course. According to the Center for American Studies, 2021, for much of early history, sexual harassment and sexual abuse were considered a violation of a man's property, the father or the husband of the victim, rather than a crime against women. The way in which sexual violence was perceived, managed, and legally punished has also changed greatly over the centuries. In Western culture, sexual violence is no longer considered a violation of a man's property and is now recognized as rooted in gender inequality and unequal power relationships. World Health Organization, 2012. Begin heading Level 2, Definitions. Begin paragraph text. According to the Canadian Women's Foundation website, 2022, sexual violence is defined as shown on the flip card. Begin paragraph text. For more information, select the card to flip it. Begin heading Level 3, Sexual Violence. Begin paragraph text. Sexual violence refers to any form of unwanted sexual contact. That includes sexual assault and sexual harassment. Canadian Women's Foundation, 2022. Begin paragraph text. Sexual violence affects all genders, ages, and cultures. Despite this truth, sexual assault is considered a gendered crime, since the rate of sexual assault victimization is more than 5 times higher among women, 50 per 1,000, than men, 9 per 1,000. Statistics Canada, 2021. Heidinger, 2022, reports that in 2019, 4.7 million women over the age of 15 in Canada have been sexually assaulted. This is a serious and devastating problem with a widespread impact on individuals, families, communities, and even global health. It erodes opportunity, relationships, and overall well-being. Begin image with description, Nations United. End image. Begin paragraph text. Sexual violence is defined by the United Nations High Commission, 2003, as follows. Begin paragraph text. Sexual violence, including exploitation and abuse, refers to any act, attempt or threat of a sexual nature that results, or is likely to result, in physical, psychological and emotional harm. Sexual violence is a form of gender-based violence. Begin paragraph text. Gender-based violence stems from gender inequality and injustice, RAIN, ND. It can occur within relationships, both intimate and non-intimate, at work, and between friends, or strangers. Some occurrences of sexual violence are met with outrage and action, while others are dismissed as just the way things are or worse, and blame is placed on the victim and survivor. Unwanted sexual behavior can include touching, kissing, and sexual assault, and sexual harassment can include such things as comments, behavior, jokes, threats, and discriminatory remarks about gender or sexuality. These expressions can occur in person, by phone, mail, or in the virtual world. Begin heading Level 2, Who is most at risk of sexual harm? Begin paragraph text. Although anyone can experience sexual violence regardless of who they are, females and gender-diverse individuals are at higher risk. Other vulnerable or begin link, marginalized groups OntarioLearn.desire2learn.com, such as individuals who are begin link, differently abled OntarioLearn.desire2learn.com, begin link, unhoused OntarioLearn.desire2learn.com, begin link, 2SLGTQ plus OntarioLearn.desire2learn.com, and begin link, BIPOC OntarioLearn.desire2learn.com. Populations are even more at risk. You will learn more about vulnerable groups in Week 7, Sexual Violence and Other Vulnerable Groups. Begin heading Level 2, References. Begin paragraph text, Canadian Women's Foundation. 2022. Begin link, The Facts About Sexual Assault and Harassment CanadianWomen.org. Center for American Studies. 2021. Begin link, History of Sexual Abuse and Harassment Freedom on Citizenship.columbia.edu. Freedom in Citizenship, Columbia University. Culture Ally. 2024. Begin link, What does marginalized mean and why does it matter? www.culturally.com. Heidinger, L. 2022. Begin link, Profile of Canadians who experienced victimization during childhood, 2018. www.150.statcan.gc.ca. Statistics Canada. LGBTQIA Resource Center. 2024, February 5. Begin link, LGBTQIA Resource Center Glossary LGBTQIA.ucdavis.edu, webpage. The Regents of the University of California, Davis Campus. RAIN, Rape, Abuse and Incest National Network. ND. Begin link, Types of Sexual Violence www.rain.org. Statistics Canada. 2021. Begin link, Criminal Victimization in Canada, 2019 www.150.statcan.gc.ca. The Daily. UN High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR. 2003, May. Begin link, Sexual and Gender-Based Violence Against Refugees, Returnees and Internally Displaced Persons www.reefworld.org. Guidelines for Prevention and Response. World Health Organization, 2012. Begin link, Understanding and Addressing Violence Against Women, Sexual Violence iris.who.end. Begin paragraph text. Test your understanding of what you've learned so far by answering the following questions correctly. Once you answer each question, feedback will be provided. Begin heading Level 2, Knowledge Check. Begin paragraph text. The Canadian legal definition of sexual assault: there is no legal category of sexual violence, according to the Criminal Code, is as follows. Begin paragraph text. Select the card to flip it and find the definition. Begin heading Level 2, Sexual Assault. Begin paragraph text. Sexual assault is an assault, which is committed in circumstances of a sexual nature such that the sexual integrity of the victim is violated. Greenspan et al., 2009, as cited in Department of Justice, 2021. Begin heading Level 2, the 3 levels of sexual assault. Begin paragraph text. The Criminal Code of Canada details the crime of sexual assault in levels, which relate to the degree of force used in the sexual assault. Sexual assault is classified in the Criminal Code of Canada, C-46, Part 8, Offences against Person and Reputation, in 3 separate categories, as follows, depending on the nature and severity of the incident. Hoddenbach et al., 2014. Begin paragraph text. Select Learn More to reveal the meaning behind each level of sexual assault. Begin paragraph text. Sexual assault Level 1. Learn more. Begin paragraph text. Level 1, Sexual assault, involves assault of a sexual nature that violates the sexual integrity of the victim. According to Section 271 of the Criminal Code of Canada, sexual assault occurs if a person is touched in any way that interferes with their sexual integrity. This includes kissing, touching, intercourse, and any other sexual activity without his or her consent. Begin paragraph text. Sexual assault Level 2. Learn more. Begin paragraph text. Level 2 is sexual assault with a weapon, with threats to use a weapon, or causing bodily harm. According to Section 272 of the Criminal Code of Canada, this type of sexual assault occurs if a person is sexually assaulted by someone who has a weapon or imitation weapon and threatens to use it. The offender threatens to harm a third person, a child or friend. If the person does not consent to a sexual act, the offender causes harm to the person, or more than one offender assaults the person in the same incident. Begin paragraph text. Sexual assault Level 3. Learn more. Begin paragraph text. Level 3, Aggravated sexual assault, is sexual assault that wounds, maims, disfigures, or endangers the life of the victim. According to Section 273 of the Criminal Code of Canada, aggravated sexual assault occurs if the person assaulted is wounded, maimed, disfigured, beaten, or in danger of losing her or his life while being sexually assaulted. Begin heading Level 2, Other types of sexual offenses. Begin paragraph text. Listed below are condensed explanations of other types of sexual offenses according to the Criminal Code of Canada, RSC, 1985, C-46. The following sexual offenses are addressed in the Criminal Code of Canada, C-46, Part 5, Sexual offenses, public morals, and disorderly conduct. Use the flip cards to review the definition of each offense. Begin paragraph text. Select each card to flip it and reveal the definition. Begin heading Level 3, Sexual interference. Begin paragraph text. According to Section 151, every person who, for a sexual purpose, touches, directly or indirectly, with a part of the body or with an object, any part of the body of a person under the age of 16 years is guilty of and begin link, indictable offense Ontario learn.desire2learn.com or begin link, summary offense Ontario learn.desire2learn.com. Begin heading Level 3, Invitation to sexual touching. Begin heading Level 3, Invitation to sexual touching. Begin paragraph text. According to Section 152, every person who, for a sexual purpose, invites, counsels or incites a person under the age of 16 years to touch, directly or indirectly, with a part of the body or with an object, the body of any person, including the body of the person who so invites, counsels or incites and the body of the person under the age of 16 years is guilty of and begin link, indictable offense Ontario learn.desire2learn.com or begin link, summary offense Ontario learn.desire2learn.com. Begin heading Level 3, Sexual exploitation. Begin heading Level 3, Sexual exploitation. Begin paragraph text. Per Section 153, Every person commits an offense who is in a position of trust or authority towards a young person, who is a person with whom the young person is in a relationship of dependency or who is in a relationship with a young person that is exploitative of the young person, and who a. For a sexual purpose, touches, directly or indirectly, with a part of the body or with an object, any part of the body of the young person, or b. For a sexual purpose, invites, counsels or incites a young person to touch, directly or indirectly, with a part of the body or with an object, the body of any person, including the body of the person who so invites, counsels or incites and the body of the young person. Begin heading Level 2, References. Begin paragraph text, Criminal Code, RSC, 1985, C46. Begin link, Part 5, Sexual Offenses, Public Morals and Disorderly Conduct Laws lois.justice.gc.ca. Criminal Code, RSC, 1985, C46. Begin link, Part 8, Offenses Against the Person and Reputation Laws lois.justice.gc.ca. Greenspan, E. L., and Rosenberg, M., 2009. Martin's Annual Criminal Code, 2010. Aurora, Ontario, Canada Law Book Incorporated as cited in Department of Justice. 2021. Begin link, An Estimation of the Economic Impact of Violent Victimization in Canada, 2009 www.justice.gc.ca. Hodenbach, J., Jung, T., and McDonald, S., 2014. Begin link, An Estimation of the Economic Impact of Violent Victimization in Canada, 2009 www.justice.gc.ca. Department of Justice. Statistics Canada, 2022, August 2. Begin link, A Comprehensive Portrait of Police Reported Crime in Canada, 2021 www.150.statcan.gc.ca. The Daily. Begin paragraph text. Sexual violence comes in many forms and can be defined in many different ways. The one constant is that the victim and survivor is never at fault. According to Rain, 2024, sexual violence includes each of the following types. Although this list is not exhaustive, it provides some insight into how sexual violence can permeate all facets of life. Begin paragraph text. Select Learn More to reveal the meaning of each type of sexual violence. Begin paragraph text, Sexual assault, including group assault, female assault, male assault, and transgender assault. Learn more. Begin bulleted list with 5 items. Item 1 of 5, refers to sexual contact or behavior that occurs without explicit consent of the victim. Item 2 of 5, includes attempted sexual assault. Item 3 of 5, includes fondling or unwanted sexual touching. Item 4 of 5, includes forcing a victim to perform sexual acts, such as oral sex or penetrating the perpetrator's body. Item 5 of 5, includes penetration of the victim's body. Begin paragraph text, Intimate partner sexual violence, IPSV. Learn more. Begin bulleted list with 3 items. Item 1 of 3, sexual violence most often is perpetrated by someone a survivor knows, and this includes intimate partner relationships. Item 2 of 3, often starts with controlling behavior that can escalate to further emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. Item 3 of 3, more about IPV in Week 4. Begin paragraph text, Child sexual abuse. Learn more. Begin bulleted list with 3 items. Item 1 of 3, includes sexual activity with a minor. Item 2 of 3, it does not need to include physical contact between a perpetrator and a child. Exhibitionism, sharing pornographic images, obscene text messages, etc., are classified as child sexual abuse. Item 3 of 3, more about child sexual abuse in Week 5. Begin paragraph text, Incest. Learn more. Begin bulleted list with 2 items. Item 1 of 2 refers to sexual contact between family members. Item 2 of 2, often underreported because it can be especially difficult to disclose this type of abuse. Begin paragraph text, sexual harassment. Learn more. Begin bulleted list with 2 items. Item 1 of 2 includes unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical harassment of a sexual nature. Item 2 of 2, negative comments that are gender-based may be a form of sexual harassment. Begin paragraph text, use of technology to sexually harm. Learn more. Begin bulleted list with 1 item. Item 1 of 1, the use of technology, such as photos, videos, social media, and dating apps, to engage in harassing, unsolicited, or non-consensual sexual interactions. Begin paragraph text, workplace sexual violence. Learn more. Begin bulleted list with 2 items. Item 1 of 2 includes lewd emails, suggestive texts, inappropriate jokes or pictures, or repeated unwanted requests for dates or intimate contact. Workplaces respond to domestic and sexual violence. 2024. Item 2 of 2, more about workplace sexual violence in week 8. Begin paragraph text, prison sexual violence. Learn more. Begin bulleted list with 2 items. Item 1 of 2, perpetrator may be another inmate, or a correctional officer, or staff member who works at the incarcerated setting. Item 2 of 2, prison sexual assault is often the subject of jokes, and the public can dismiss this behavior as an inevitable, or even deserved, consequence of criminality. Begin paragraph text, sexual abuse of older adults. Learn more. Begin bulleted list with 3 items. Item 1 of 3, any kind of sexual contact without the person's consent. Item 2 of 3, some victims are unable to report the abuse due to health conditions, fear of retaliation, or withdrawal of care. Item 3 of 3, more about elder sexual abuse in week 7. Begin paragraph text, sexual abuse of the differently abled. Learn more. Begin bulleted list with 3 items. Item 1 of 3, someone who needs regular assistance may rely on a person who is abusing them for care, as seen in elder abuse, and be unable or reluctant to report. Item 2 of 3, individuals with intellectual challenges may not understand or lack information about healthy sexuality and the types of touching that are appropriate or inappropriate. Item 3 of 3, more about sexual abuse of the differently abled in week 7. Begin heading level 2, references. Begin paragraph text, RAIN, Rape, Abuse and AMP, Incest National Network. 2024. Begin link, Types of Sexual Violence www.rain.org. Workplaces respond to domestic and sexual violence. 2024. Begin link, Facts, Sexual Harassment in the Workplace www.workplacesrespond.org. Begin paragraph text, test your understanding of what you've learned about sexual offenses according to the Criminal Code by answering the following questions correctly. Once you answer each question, feedback will be provided. Begin heading level 2, knowledge check. Begin paragraph text. There are several theories to explain the possible root causes of sexual violence. Some of these theories are no longer favored by the scientific community but are included here to address how the public often thinks some explanations are valid, even though they do not support current research in the field. Research clearly demonstrates that perpetrators are motivated by a desire for power and domination, and not a desire for sex. The Advocates for Human Rights, 2006. Use the interactive activity provided below to review the many theories that exist, noting that not all have the same credence or support. Although no single theory is right or wrong for the purpose of this course, being able to identify the theoretical stances is helpful, and, taken together, being able to identify theories may broaden your understanding of why sexual violence occurs. Begin paragraph text. To begin reviewing the theories, select the next button. The previous button will go back. Begin heading level 2, did you know? Begin paragraph text. Men who are arrested for sexual violence tend to come from less privileged communities, for example, low socioeconomic status and men of color, and, therefore, may not be representative of all men who sexually assault, just those who get caught. Greco and Amp, Doggart, 2007. This implies that those members of marginalized communities are the ones most likely to be questioned, arrested, charged, and convicted because of their marginalization. Individuals who commit sexual offenses come from all walks of life, but those who are from privileged communities are less likely to be questioned, arrested, charged, and convicted. Begin heading level 2, references. Begin paragraph text, Farrick, M., 2022. Begin link, A Social Learning Perspective on Sexual Coercion digitalcommons.newhaven.edu. University of New Haven. Digital Commons. Greco, D. and Doggart, S., 2007. Begin link, Poverty and Sexual Violence, Building Prevention and Intervention Responses pcar.org. Pennsylvania Coalition Against Rape, PCAR. Shaw, J., 2017. Begin link, Gender and Violence, Feminist Theories, Deadly Economies and Damaging Discourse www.ear.info. International Relations. The Advocates for Human Rights. 2006, February 1st. Begin link, Biological Theories of Sexual Assault www.stopva.org. The Advocates for Human Rights. 2006, February 1st. Begin link, Theories of Sexual Assault www.stopva.org. World Health Organization, 2012. Begin link, Understanding and Addressing Violence Against Women, Sexual Violence iris.who.int. Begin paragraph text. The topic of sexual violence is emotionally charged and myths and misinformation are common. The activity below is designed to help you differentiate fact from fiction. Begin heading level 2, Fact or Fiction? Begin paragraph text. For each of the following pairs, select the best answer. Once you select your answer, feedback will be provided. Begin heading level 2, References. Begin paragraph text. Brennan, S. and Taylor Butts, A., 2008. Begin link, Sexual Assault in Canada, 2004 and 2007 www.150.statcan.gc.ca. Canadian Centre for Justice Statistics Profile Series, Statistics Canada. Clare, M., 2020. Privilege and Punishment. Princeton University Press. Princeton, New Jersey, USA. Heidinger, L., 2022. Begin link, Profile of Canadians who experienced victimization during childhood, 2018 www.150.statcan.gc.ca. Statistics Canada. Statistics Canada. Hochberg Trial Lawyers. ND. Begin link, Myths and Facts about Sexual Assault, Canada, Dispelling Misconceptions and Promoting Awareness www.sexassault.ca. Sexassault.ca. Ministry of Children, Community, and Social Services. 2024, February 1st. Begin link, Dispelling the Myths about Sexual Assault www.ontario.ca. Government of Ontario. Standing Together to End Sexual Assault, STASA. 2023. Begin link, Myths vs. Truths, spstessa.org. Begin paragraph text. This week, you learn the definition, the types of, and some of the theories of sexual violence. You considered the impact of sexual violence and gained insight into the myths and truths that exist within society regarding sexual violence. Through a review of pertinent sections of the Criminal Code of Canada, you learned what constitutes a sexual offense and how perpetrators can be managed depending on the type and seriousness of the sexual offense. Begin heading level 3, next week. Begin paragraph text. Next, you will turn your attention to how systems of oppression can impact and influence sexual violence, why certain groups are victimized, and how power and privilege can and does affect the perpetuation of oppression.